Have you ever had that moment where you're sitting alone, staring at everything you've been working on, and it all feels pointless? You ask yourself, why am I even doing this? Your energy is gone. Your mind keeps whispering, just give up. Your heart? It's tired. Tired of trying, tired of failing, tired of fighting a war that feels never ending. But let me tell you something powerful. That exact moment is the moment that separates winners from quitters. You're not weak for wanting to quit. You're human. Every strong person you've ever admired, they felt exactly what you're feeling. But the difference? They didn't let that feeling decide their future. They forced themselves to keep going. Why? Because they knew a secret most people never learn. What you do when you're tired matters more than what you do when you're motivated. Motivation is easy when things are exciting, when the plan is working and you're seeing progress, but when the results stop showing up, when life feels like it's hitting harder than usual, that's where your real story begins. And here's what most people don't realize. Your brain is wired to protect you from discomfort. It doesn't want you to suffer. So when things get tough, your mind tries to pull you away. Take a break. Maybe this isn't for you. Why put yourself through this? But listen closely. That voice, it's not your truth. It's your fear. Fear is clever. It doesn't scream. It whispers. It shows up like logic. It says, you deserve rest. You've done enough. But in reality, that's not rest, that's escape. And the more you listen to it, the easier it becomes to walk away from things that matter. But you didn't start this journey to walk away. You started because you wanted something more. You wanted change. You wanted power. You wanted to prove to yourself that you're more than your excuses. Let me remind you, you are. The moment you want to quit is the moment you must go harder. Why? Because on the other side of that resistance is growth. On the other side of that pain is power. Your brain is begging you to retreat, but your future is begging you to rise. Don't let comfort rob you of your greatness. Don't let a hard day convince you that your dream isn't worth it. If you give up now, what was it all for? The early mornings, the late nights, the doubts you already pushed through. Are you really going to let that all go just because it's heavy today? No. Because here's the truth. Pressure is not a sign to stop. It's a sign you're getting closer. Every time you want to quit but don't, you build a new layer of strength inside you. You're literally reprogramming your brain. You're training it to push through instead of pull back. And eventually, it becomes who you are. That's the kind of strength no one can see, but everyone feels when you walk into a room. That's the kind of power that changes your life forever. But you have to fight for it. You have to show up even when nothing is working, especially when nothing is working. Because that moment, the one you're in right now, it's not the end. It's the test. And those who pass it, they don't just win, they transform. So if you've ever felt like quitting, if you're feeling it right now, don't turn away. Lean in. Because this video isn't just here to motivate you. It's here to arm you, to give you the inner tools to push forward when everything inside you wants to run. Stay with me until the end. And I'll show you exactly how to control the voice in your head, how to lead your life with power, and how to speak, move, and act like the person you were born to be. This is more than inspiration. It's a switch. And once it flips, you won't go back to the old version of yourself again. So take a breath. Look at that feeling of quitting and smile. Because that's your signal. You're right where you need to be. You're still here. That means something inside you is still fighting. Now listen closely, because this next truth will change how you see everything. Pain isn't your enemy, it's your compass. Most people run from it, they numb it, they hide behind distractions, comfort, or fake confidence. But what they don't realize is pain reveals your path. It shows you where the growth is. The discomfort you feel when you try something hard, the sting of failure when you fall short, the pressure in your chest when no one believes in you. That's not weakness. That's the sound of transformation. Your mind wants to protect you from pain because it thinks pain means danger. But in the real world, pain means progress. Ask anyone who's ever achieved anything that mattered. They didn't rise in peace, they rose through pain. Why? Because pain is honest. It strips away the lies. It shows you who you really are, not the version you post, not the version you pretend to be. but the version that either breaks or breaks through. And here's the psychological truth. When your brain feels pain, it looks for meaning. If you give it a purpose, that pain becomes power. If you avoid it, it becomes suffering. So don't just go through pain, grow through it. The discomfort you're feeling right now, it's not here to destroy you. It's here to develop you. Let it burn, let it stretch you. Let it wake up the part of you that's been asleep for too long. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. Every time you face pain and move forward anyway, you prove to yourself that you're no longer controlled by fear. Control now. And control is where real freedom begins. Most people don't fail because they're not talented. They don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they stop. They quit too early. Right before the shift. Right before the breakthrough. Why? Because they expect the path to be smooth. They expect motivation to stay high. They expect quick results. And when those don't show up, they crumble. They mistake slow progress for no progress. And that's where most people fall. See, your brain is always looking for a reward. It wants to see the finish line before it takes the next step. But life doesn't work that way. Sometimes you have to walk for miles with nothing in sight, no applause, no results, no proof that it's working. And in that silence, most people give up. They say, this isn't for me. I guess I wasn't meant for this. But the truth is, they just didn't go far enough. There's a reason the top 1% looks different. It's not luck. It's not gifts. It's grit. They kept going when others sat down. They kept building when others broke. They kept moving through doubt, through fear, through failure, until the door finally opened. Your mind will try to talk you out of it. It will say, why are you still trying? And in that moment, you have a choice. You can listen, or you can lead yourself forward. Because here's what few understand. The moment you want to quit the most is often the moment right before it works. You're digging through rock, and most people stop inches from gold. Don't let that be your story. Refuse to be average. Refuse to stop just because it's hard. If it's hard, it's supposed to be. You're not here for easy. You're here for transformation. There's a reason Napoleon Hill's words have lived for generations, because they cut through the noise. They expose the truth that most people avoid. He said, victory is always possible for the person who refuses to stop fighting. Read that again. Not the smartest person, not the luckiest, not even the most skilled, but the one who refuses to stop. That mindset, it's rare because it means choosing fight over comfort. It means staying in the arena when your body wants out and your mind is screaming for escape. But that's where strength is built, in the fight. In the decision to keep going, even when there's no applause, no recognition, no guarantee. Your mind is powerful. It believes what you feed it. If you tell yourself you're not enough, it listens. But if you tell it, I will not stop, something inside you starts to shift. Your psychology begins to rewire. You start operating from belief, not feelings. Napoleon Hill understood something most never grasp. Success is not a chance. It's a choice. It's not about waiting for the right mood or the perfect moment. It's about deciding right now that you will not back down. That no matter how many times you fall, you'll rise again. And that one decision, that one unshakable belief can move mountains, because your belief becomes your behavior, and your behavior shapes your reality. You don't need to feel strong to act strong. You act strong first, and strength follows. That's the truth. Behind every great life, it was built in silence, in struggle, in persistence no one saw until the results couldn't be ignored. So let Hill's words stay in your mind like fire. Victory is always possible for the one who refuses to stop, and that can be you. You will never feel ready. That's the truth most people avoid. They wait for motivation. They wait for clarity. They wait for some magical moment when everything feels perfect. But that moment never comes. If you want to grow, you have to force yourself. Force yourself to get up when you feel like staying in bed. Force yourself to keep going when your body aches. Force yourself to speak when fear tries to silence you. That's not being fake. That's being in control, because real growth begins where comfort ends. And your brain, your own mind, will resist that. It's wired to keep you safe, not strong. It wants routine, not risk. It wants easy, not excellence. But you weren't born for easy. Inside you, there's a fire. You've felt it before. In moments when you pushed through, even though it hurt. In moments when you said, I'm not done yet. When everything said you should be. That version of you, that's the real you, not the one who doubts, not the one who overthinks, but the one who decides. And you have to keep choosing that version every day, even when it's dark, especially when it's dark. Because forcing yourself isn't about punishment. It's about power. It's about doing what's right for your future, not what feels easy in the moment. And here's the secret. What starts as force becomes flow. The first time you push, it feels impossible. But the second time, it feels a little lighter. And one day, you don't have to force it anymore. You become it. You become the kind of person who shows up, who follows through, who doesn't quit. And when you reach that point, nothing can stop you, not pain, not fear, not failure, because you've already done the hardest thing. You moved when everything told you to stay still. Your thoughts will lie to you. They will say, wait, think about it more. What if it doesn't work? That voice is not wisdom. It's hesitation. It's fear dressed up as logic. But here's the truth. Clarity comes from action, not thought. Your brain is not built to motivate you into motion. It's built to protect you from pain. And to your brain, anything uncertain feels like pain, even your dreams. That's why you must act before you feel ready. You see, when you take action, even small action, you send a new signal to your mind, I am in control, not fear, not doubt, me. And something powerful happens. The moment you take that first step, your physiology changes, your emotions begin to shift, momentum begins to build, because action creates confidence, not the other way around. You don't wake up confident, you earn it step by step, decision by decision. And every time you follow through, even with shaky hands, your mind learns, I can trust myself. That's the foundation of self-belief. Not words, not hype, action. And when you understand this, everything changes. You stop waiting for the perfect mood. You stop needing permission. You stop letting your feelings control your future. Instead, you build forward motion. You lead your life from the front, and even when the fear returns, and it always will, you'll know how to respond. Not with retreat, but with movement. You don't have to feel brave to act brave, you just have to move. Because action isn't the result of confidence, it's the cause of it. So whatever you're facing today, move, even a few inches forward.
Because the moment you act, the voice of doubt begins to fade.
And the voice of power, the one inside you, gets louder. You are not stuck because you're weak. You're stuck because you're repeating an old pattern. Same thoughts, same reactions, same excuses, and those patterns become your identity. Every time you say, that's just who I am, you build a wall around your potential. But here's what most people never learn. You are not your past, you are your pattern. And patterns can be broken. It doesn't matter how long you've felt lazy. It doesn't matter how many times you've quit. The moment you choose a new action, you begin to build a new identity. Not all at once, but brick by brick. You wake up early one day, that's a brick. You go to the gym when you don't feel like it, another brick. You keep a promise to yourself even when it's hard, that's how you build you. And eventually you don't just act like a disciplined person, you become one. Because your brain watches everything you do. Every time you show up, it takes notes. And over time it builds a new belief, this is who I am now. And once that belief locks in, your life begins to shift. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop giving energy to doubt. You stop seeing goals as far-off dreams and start seeing them as what's next. You don't need to fix everything overnight. You just need to break the pattern, interrupt it, do the opposite of what your comfort says. Your comfort will beg for routine, but your growth demands rebellion. So rebel against your excuses, rebel against your old story, rebel against the identity that kept you small, and start showing up like the person you want to become. Because change doesn't happen when you want it. Change happens when you refuse to repeat the old pattern one more time. The most powerful voice you'll ever hear is your own. Not the one you use out loud, the one in your head when no one's around. That voice shapes everything, because here's the truth, you follow the voice you hear the most. If your inner voice calls you lazy, you'll act lazy. If it says you're a failure, you'll hesitate. Or if it whispers you never finish anything, you'll quit halfway through again. That's not a lack of motivation. That's the result of a broken inner dialogue. You can't lead your life if your mind talks to you like an enemy. You have to learn to speak to yourself like a leader, with truth, with power, with conviction. Start telling yourself, I do hard things, I keep showing up, I don't need to feel ready, I move anyway. And don't just say it once, say it until it becomes the new default, because your brain rewires through repetition. The more you speak power, the more you believe it. And the more you believe it, the more you act on it. You don't need someone else to hype you up. You don't need praise from the outside. You need discipline on the inside. That's how leaders are built. They lead themselves first, through tired days, through doubt, through storms no one sees. And when that voice of fear creeps back in, and it will, you speak louder, not today, not this time, I know who I am. That's how champions are made. Not by the world, by the way they talk to themselves when the world goes quiet. So speak power, speak belief, speak with the voice of the person you're becoming. Because that voice, that's your next level, and it's waiting to be heard. Discipline feels like a struggle at first. It feels like a chain holding you back. It feels like a fight against yourself. But here's the secret no one tells you. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. You want success? Discipline is the path. You want respect? Discipline earns it. You want confidence? Discipline builds it. It's easy to confuse discipline with punishment, but discipline isn't about pain, it's about power. When you choose discipline, you're choosing yourself. You're choosing the person you want to become over temporary comfort. And here's what psychology teaches us. Your brain loves rewards. But the biggest rewards don't come from quick wins. They come from delayed gratification. That hard workout, that extra hour of work, that moment you say no to quitting, all those choices add up. They build a foundation no one can take away. You become unshakable. You become unstoppable. Discipline rewires your mind. It strengthens your willpower like a muscle. And the stronger it gets, the easier the fight becomes. Soon, what once felt like sacrifice feels like freedom. Because you're no longer a slave to mood or motivation. You're the master of your own destiny. The real reward isn't the goal itself. It's who you become on the way there. So embrace discipline, love the struggle, and watch how your life transforms, one choice at a time. Your mind is a powerful tool. It can build dreams or destroy them. What you choose to focus on shapes your reality. Visualization isn't just daydreaming. It's a mental rehearsal, a way to prepare your brain for success. When you clearly see your victory in your mind, you create a roadmap. Your brain begins to search for opportunities. Your body starts to align with that vision. Think about it. Athletes don't just train their bodies, they train their minds. They picture every move, every win, every moment of triumph. That mental image fuels their actions. You can do the same. See yourself overcoming obstacles. See yourself standing tall when others quit. See yourself stronger, braver, unstoppable. Because your brain cannot tell the difference between a vivid thought and reality. When you visualize success, your subconscious mind begins to work behind the scenes. It pushes you to act, to persist, and to refuse defeat. But there's a catch. Your vision must be clear and specific. Don't just say, I want to succeed. See exactly what success looks like. Hear the sounds, feel the emotions, live the moment in your mind. That emotional connection creates belief. And belief is the fuel that keeps you moving when motivation fades. So take a moment every day to visualize your victory. Make it so real that your mind starts demanding it. Because what you see in your mind, you will hold in your hands. Your future is waiting, but you have to see it first. Motivation comes and goes. Some days it's strong, other days it's gone. That's why relying on motivation alone is a losing game. The secret to lasting success? Habits. Habits don't ask how you feel. They don't take days off. They work quietly behind the scenes every single day. When you build habits that don't quit, you build unstoppable momentum. Think about it. You don't wake up every morning motivated to brush your teeth. You just do it because it's a habit. Now imagine applying that same consistency to your dreams, to your goals, to your growth. Habits create an automatic path forward. Even when your emotions scream, stop. Your habits say keep going. But habits don't form by accident. They are built with intention, repetition, and patience. Start small. Choose one tiny action you can do every day without fail. It could be 5 minutes of reading, 1 page of planning, or a simple workout. Do it no matter what. Make it non-negotiable. Over time, these small habits become bigger habits. And those bigger habits shape your identity. You become someone who never quits, someone who keeps pushing, even when it's hard. The key is to focus on the process, not the results. When you trust the process, the results will follow. Remember, champions are not made in moments of greatness. They're made in the small choices repeated over and over. Build habits that don't quit, and you build a life that doesn't quit. Fear is one of the greatest enemies of progress. It sneaks in quietly. It freezes your mind. It tells you to stop before you even begin. But here's what most don't realize. Fear doesn't disappear by waiting or wishing. Fear disappears by acting. Every time you take a step forward despite fear, you weaken its grip. You show yourself that fear is not a wall. It's just a shadow. Action is the antidote to fear. You don't have to feel fearless to move forward. You only have to move forward in spite of fear. That first step feels heavy. Your heart pounds. Your mind races. But as soon as you take that step, something shifts. You prove to yourself that fear is smaller than your courage, that you are stronger than your doubts. Psychology shows us that facing fear builds confidence. Each victory rewires your brain. It creates new pathways that tell your mind, I can handle this, and fear loses power. But this doesn't mean fear disappears forever. It will come back again and again. The difference is how you respond. Do you let fear stop you, or do you use fear as a signal to act? Fear means you're growing. It means you're about to break through. So the next time fear shows up, welcome it. Then act anyway. Because every time you choose action over fear, you become unstoppable. No one achieves greatness alone. Your environment shapes who you become. The people you spend time with influence your mindset, your habits, your energy. If you want to push through and you want to quit, you need support. Not just encouragement, but honest, real support. Surround yourself with people who believe in growth, who challenge you to be better, who won't let you settle for less. This support doesn't always come from family or old friends. Sometimes you have to seek it out. Find mentors, peers, or communities that inspire and lift you up. Why does this matter? Because psychology shows that we mirror those closest to us. Their beliefs become ours. Their habits become ours. If you hang around people who quit, you start to quit too. If you surround yourself with those who keep fighting, you build resilience. Support also holds you accountable. It reminds you of your goals when you forget. It pushes you when you want to give up. But it's not just about receiving support. It's about giving it too. When you help others stay strong, you strengthen yourself. You create a cycle of growth and motivation. No one climbs a mountain by themselves, so choose your team wisely. Build your circle with people who push you to rise, who inspire you to keep going. Together, you become unstoppable. Failure feels like the end, like a door slammed shut, like proof you're not good enough. But failure is not your enemy. It's your greatest teacher. Every successful person has failed. Many times, often when they wanted to quit the most. Failure is feedback, a signal showing you where to adjust. It's not a verdict on your worth or ability. When you embrace failure, you stop fearing it. You stop letting it stop you. Instead, you see failure as a necessary step on the path to growth. Your mind learns faster when you treat mistakes as lessons, when you analyze what went wrong without judgment, when you use that knowledge to improve and try again. That's where true strength is born. The moment you accept failure as part of the process, you unlock freedom. Freedom from perfectionism, freedom from fear of judgment, freedom to keep moving forward. Every failure brings you closer to success. Each setback builds resilience. Each challenge makes you stronger. Remember, diamonds form under pressure. So do champions. So stop fearing failure. Start using it. Learn from it. Grow because of it. And keep going. Because every failure is just a step closer to your victory. This moment right now is where your future is shaped. Every choice you make, every action you take, builds the life you will live tomorrow. It won't be easy. There will be pain. There will be doubt. There will be times you want to quit. But quitting is the easy path, and it leads nowhere. The people who succeed aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who get back up every time. They're the ones who keep pushing, even when the world tells them to stop. Your strength isn't measured by how you feel, but by what you do despite your feelings. So push yourself when you want to quit. Force yourself when your mind screams no. Show up even when every part of you wants to hide, because your future self depends on your persistence today. The pain you feel now is temporary. The rewards you earn will last forever. Believe in the process. Trust your power. Keep moving forward. You are capable of more than you realize. You are stronger than your fears. You are closer than you think, so don't stop. Don't slow down. Keep pushing. Your victory is waiting on the other side of this struggle, and it's yours to claim. This is your moment. Make it count.